All right, so we finished the first section here with the FIFO method, costing method here. So this is what we left off with 50 units at a total of $150. So let's see what happened next. So in this case, it's asking you for question number 2, to continue from above. However, your inventory method is going to be perpetual, and at this time we're going to switch to LIFO. Okay, so again, we already know that from September 30th, we know that we should have had a 50 units costing a total of $150. So that means we're going to carry that information on to our new inventory worksheet here, saying this was September 30th. I'm sorry, September 30th. Okay. Okay. And let's see, inventory on hand. We had a total of 50 units at $3, which gave me the 150. Okay. And what I'm going to do here is I'm also going to start creating that equal sum at the bottom right here, just so then we know how many items we have available on hand at all times. So my goods available. Okay, so we have 50 units currently right now, giving me a grand total of $150. Okay. So then let's go ahead and see what is next. Okay. So then October 5th, we end up purchasing 100 units at $3.25 each with a freight of 25. So 100 at $3.25 with a freight of 25. October 5th, we purchased 100 units at $3.25 with a freight of 25. So in this case, what is my total purchase price here?
$325
Okay, plus 25.
makes it $350.
Okay, in this case, because we're using LIFO, we also still need to keep our batches of inventory separately. So in this case, what is my cost per item going to be?
$3.50.
$3.50. So I'm going to go ahead and carry that over into my inventory on hand over here. So carry over the 100, carry that 350 to give me a total of 350. Okay. So once again, I'm currently at 150 units available to sell at $500. Okay. So then on October 10, we end up purchasing an additional 200 units at $350 with a freight of 50. Okay. October 10, we purchased 200 units at $350 with a freight of 50. Okay. So what's my purchase price here?
$700.
$700 plus 50.
$750.
$750, okay, which is going to give me a cost per item of
$375.
$375. So I'm going to carry that over into my inventory on hand. Okay. So that means now I have a total goods available of 350 units. Okay, 350 units. Okay. So then October 12th rolls around and we end up selling 180 units. Okay. So October 12th, right, we sold 180 units. Okay. Using the rules of LIFO, which batch are we going to dip into first?
The bottom one for 375.
Good, right? The 200 at 375. Right, in this case, I only need to take 180. So how much is my grand total cost of goods sold going to be for that 180 at 375?
675.
$675. Okay. So in this case, I need to update my inventory. So I just sold 180. So 200 minus 180 should be left with 20 units at $3.75 each, which should give you $75. So now I only have 170 units left remaining to sell. Okay. October 18 rolls around and we end up selling an additional 100 units. Okay. So October 18, we sold 100 units. Okay, so again, which patch of inventory would it dip into first?
You take the 20
Mm-hmm.
at
So,
375.
okay, so in this case, we have to split up our batches of inventory here, right? Since we're taking the rest of the inventory here at $3.75 each, that should give us the $75 right there. So we can get rid of this batch of inventory here. Right? No more from there. How many more do I need to take out from the next batch of inventory to get to a grand total of 100 units?
80.
We need to sell 80, right? Okay. Now, which batch are we to take out from?
The 100 for 350.
The 100 at 350. So in this case, how much is it going to cost me to sell 80 units at $3.50?
$280.
280. So in this case, I need to update my inventory because I just sold 80. So again, 100 minus 80 should give me 20 units remaining, which will give me a total of $70. Right? So that means I'm still left with 70 units left available on hand. Okay. So then October 20th rolls around and we end up purchasing 300 units at $375 with a freight of $75. Excuse me. Excuse me. October 20th, we purchased 300 units at $375. Excuse me, with a freight of $75. So what's my purchase price here?
1125.
Okay, plus 75.
1200.
Okay, giving me a cost per item to be.
$4.
Okay, so we're going to move in our 300 units at $4 each. Okay. Okay, giving me a grand total of 1,200 units. So, all right, so $1,200. So, grand total units available to sell is 370 units. Okay. October 25th rolls around and we sold 200 units. Okay. So, in this case, October 25th, we sold 200 units. Okay. So, which batch of inventory are we going to take out from first?
take the 20 first for the 350.
No. So we just purchased a patch of
Oh, we
inventory.
purchased 300. Okay.
Yes. So in this case,
Get
because we're
out of
using
that one.
LIFO, right? Every time we
I
make a
screwed
purchase,
those. That's how it just came on.
no worries. It will always take that batch. Okay, I see what you mean. All right. So in this case, my 300 at $4 each is what I'm going to be taking out from first. So in this case, what is 200 units at $4 each?
800.
$800. Okay. So in this case, I'm going to update my inventory, right? What is 300 minus 200? You should have 100 left. Okay. So now I have 170 units left to sell. So in this case, last scenario was on October 28th. You end up selling 150 units, giving you a remainder of 20 units left on hand on October 31st. So that's what I need to do. I need to sell 150 units on October 28th. So in this case, which batch of inventory am I going to take out from first?
The $100 you got left at $4 a unit.
Good. So there you go. 400. I'm sorry. 100 at $4, which is giving you a grand total of $400. So that is the first I'm going to eliminate. Right.
And then the $20 at 350. 20 units at 350.
No worries. Hold on. I don't know where I put my zero. Okay, there it is. Okay, then 20 units at 350.
And 30 units out of the one at $3.
Okay, so we got rid of my first 100, right? And then we need to take out 20 at $3 and the 20 at $3.50, which is going to give you
70.
that $70, so I can get rid of this. And then I need to dip into my only batch of inventory I have left, which is at $3 each. So 30 times $3.
90.
It's going to give you $90. Okay. So a grand total for selling all 150 units will give me a grand total of $560. So I need to update my inventory last thing. So what is 50 minus 30? $20. 20 units at $3 each, giving you a total of $60 remaining. Okay. So that is LIFO, right? Every time we are selling under LIFO, every time we purchase something, we're going to go back to the bottom and keep going to the bottom and make our slowly way up to the top. Okay. All right, last scenario. Again, we're going to continue from above, and your inventory method this time is going to be perpetual and it's going to be moving average. Okay, round your answer to the nearest penny. All right, so on October 31st, you had a total of 20 units costing at $60, okay, which we know because we solved for it from the previous worksheet. So, moving average on October 31st, right? We had a total of 20 units at $3, which gave us a grand total of $60. Okay. And of course, I'm going to go ahead and set up my equal sum right here to have my goods available. Okay, so there we go. I started out with my inventory. Oh, actually, never mind. I need to undo that. I don't, for moving average, I don't need to do this, right? Because what we're going to do is we're going to just slowly eliminate them out of our inventory across. So in this case, I don't need to do that. All right, so let's go ahead and see what happened next. On November 2nd, we end up purchasing 100 units at $3 each with a freight of 25. So, moving average, November 2nd, we purchase 100 units at $3 each with the freight of 25. Okay. So in this case, right, what is my grand total purchase price here?
300.
300 plus 25.
325.
Okay. So in this case, because we're using moving average, do we need to calculate our cost per item?
No.
No.
Added.
Because we're going to be adding them up together. So in this case, right, moving across the board, right, moving across the cells here, we're just going to go ahead and add up our columns here because at the end of the day, which column are we going to be utilizing here to calculate here? We're going to be constantly calculating our average cost per item. So in this case, the formula is going to lie right here for my moving average. So in this case, right, what is 100 units plus 20? Okay, 120. And then what's my cost? So $60 plus my $325.
$385.
$385. So this, once again, this is where we are going to calculate our average cost per item. So in this case, 385 divided by 120 units that are available. What is my average cost per item here?
3.208333333.
Good. So in this case, right, I'm going to be getting these digits where they're unrounded. So 3.2083333, right? So that means I can actually go ahead and hide this. Okay. So right now I have exactly 120 units available at costing me a $3.20833, which gives me a grand total of the $385. All right. So then on November 8th, we end up purchasing an additional 200 units at $275 with a freight of 50. So 200 units, 275 and a freight of 50. Okay, on November 8th. So 200 units, 275 with a freight of 50. So, what is my total purchase price here?
550.
550 plus 50?
600.
600. So in this case, let's add up our numbers together. What is 120 plus 200? 320. Okay. What is 385 plus 600?
985.
Right, we get a total of 985. So in this case, I need to calculate my average cost per item, and that is going to give me a total. Go ahead.
3.078125.
Good. So in this case, I just go ahead and clicked and dragged my formula, so it's going to constantly calculate for me how much my average cost per item is going to be. So that means I don't have to keep calculating that. It will do it for me automatically. Okay? All I have to do is calculate my grand total quantity and my grand total cost. Okay? So there you go. Right, so let's see what's next. November 15, you end up selling 115 units. On November 15, you sold 115 units. What's currently my average cost right now? That 3.78125. So in this case, what is going to be my total cost of goods sold?
406.
Okay, do it again. 115 times 3.078125.
Let me see if I made it wrong. Put 150. Sorry, hang on.
No worries.
$353.98.
Good. Okay, so I'm gonna. Good. So that means I need to subtract that out from my inventory, okay? So I had 320 units, but I end up selling 115. So I should be left with
205.
mm-hmm. And then if I started out with 985, right? And I sold 353.98, how much should I have left remaining as my total cost?
$631.02.
631.02. Good. Again, because I have this automatedly calculating for me, I have now my new average cost is 3.078146. So it went up. Okay. So now I have 205 units available to sell. So then on November 18, I end up selling 145 units. Okay? 145 units. Okay? November 18, sold 145. Okay? Right now, my average cost, right, is that 3.078146 now. Okay? So how much is that going to cost me in grand total? What's my cost of goods sold here?
$446.33.
Good. $446.33. So let's go update my inventory. If I started out with 205 units and I just sold 145, how much should be remaining?
$60.
Good, 60, right? And then if I started out with $631.02, right? And I end up selling a total of $446.33, how much should I have left in my remaining grand total cost?
184.69.
184.69. So that made me get an average cost per item for 307.8167. So it went increased again by 2,000th of a penny. Okay, so I only have 60 units available to sell. Okay. Then November 20th rolls around and we end up purchasing a grand total of 300 units at $2.50 with a freight of 75. Okay. So it is November 20th. We purchased 300 units at $2.50 with a freight of 75. Okay. So what's my total purchase price here?
$750.
Plus, go ahead.
$825.
Okay. So again, I need to add up my total quantities and my total cost. So 60 plus 300, 360. Okay. 184.69 plus 825.
1,969.
Yeah, 1,969, which is going to give me my average cost per item to be $2.84,694. So in this case, it dropped significantly. Why? Because the purchase price that I purchased each item has changed, right? It went from 275 to 250. So that dramatically dropped my average cost per item, right? So here it dropped a whole 27 cents. Okay. So this is what I have available now is 360 units at $2.84,694. Okay. November 25th, if you sold 175 units at $10.25 each, right? We sold 175 units on November 25th. Okay. Right? If my new average cost per item is $2.84694, how much is my total cost of goods sold here?
490.82.
490.82. Okay, so now we take this number and we need to update my inventory, okay? Because I started out with 360 and I just sold 175 units. So I should have 185 left. Okay. What about my total cost? If I started out with 1,969 and I just sold 190.82, how much should I have left in my total cost?
518.87.
518.87. So that's going to give me my average cost of 2.84703. So it went up by a thousandth of a penny. Actually, that's a hundredth of a penny. Excuse me. Okay, there you go. So now I have 185 units left available to sell. Then on November 28th, I end up selling 125 units, leaving me 60 units left on hand by the end of November 30th. So I sold 125 units, giving me 60 units remaining on November 20. Was it 28? Yes, November 28th. We sold 125 units. Okay? At a grand total of, cost per item of 2.804703. Okay. So what's my grand total cost of goods sold here?
350.59.
350.59. So let's go ahead and subtract that out. Okay. If I started out with 185 and I just sold 125, I have 60 units remaining, which is true. All right, what's my new total cost now? Okay, if I started with 518.87 and I just subtracted out 350.59, how much should I have in my total cost?
168.28.
168.28, which is going to give me an average cost per item of $2.84667. So it dropped 3,000 at the penny. Okay. And that is how you do all three methods. Okay. In a real world, you wouldn't be continuing on using different methods, right? This is just an example so then you guys are able to acknowledge how to do the different costing methods in this example. Okay. So good job, guys. All right. Any questions in regards to any of the methods that we saw today?